Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I focus on everything luxury beauty and fashion. If you're interested in the latest fashion and beauty trends as well as luxury vlogs, then you are in the right place. Today we're going to talk about the Chanel Golden Hour collection. As usual, we're going to talk about all the products that are included in this collection, the price points compared to the permanent collection, the performance of the products, as well as the packaging. At the end of this video, I'm also going to do a makeup look and show you guys how I achieved today's sunset look. And of course, I'm also going to talk about my final thoughts, which product I think is worth picking up. So if that's something that you're interested in, please make sure that you continue watching. And for those of you that are new to this channel, we do a lot of beauty reviews as well as fun vlogs. So if that's something that you're interested in, please make sure that you like this video and subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss out. And without any further ado, let's get into today's video. Let's start by talking about all the products that are included in this collection. So every year during the summertime, they tend to have some new releases into the Les Beiges collection. This collection is actually a permanent collection, but the theme of all the products in this line tend to be more glow oriented, which is not surprising why every summer they like to revamp some part of this collection. 2 years ago, for example, they released this oversized bronzer, and just to give you some context, this is the normal size and this is the oversized, and you can see that it's quite a big difference. So this is what I got in 2023, and last year they went the other way around. So they introduced some travel size products of the foundation as well as the bronzer. So in this year, they stopped playing around with the sizes of the products and started introducing some new colors, which is named Golden. And it takes the same format as the regular Les Beiges collection eyeshadows, which has one big highlighter on top and then 4 eyeshadow colors in the bottom. This eyeshadow palette retails for $75 US, which is the same as the permanent collection. And then there are 2 new highlighter duos. One of them is leaning more pink and the other one is leaning more orange, and I pick up the pink one. And the highlighter duos are limited edition products. They also retail for $75 US. Now, there are also 2 new blush sticks. One of them is more orange, named Reset, and the other one is more of a pink color, named Refresh. Both blush sticks retail for $52 US. There are also 2 new nail polish shades. One of them is more of a watermelon red and the other one is a gold color, and they retail for $33 US each. They also introduced new shades into the concealer collection. So this is not a new product, but they just expanded the shade range. This one retails for $70 US each. There are also 4 new shades of the Rouge Cocoa Flash lipstick, which retails for $50, and that's the same as the permanent collection. One of the new shades is more of a watermelon red, which is the one that I picked up, and this is color number 266 Sun Kiss. So it has a very, very pretty watermelon red color that matches with the Refresh blush stick as well as the new nail polish color. And there are also 3 other colors that are more peachy nude, which I think will be very pretty as well. Now let's talk about the color story of those new products. I have to say overall the shade range is on the darker side for all the products except for the blushes. I'm going to start by talking about the eyeshadow palette. When I saw the promo picture of the new eyeshadow palette, I wasn't very intrigued because I just feel like this is a color that's being done over and over again by different brands. I thought it looks pretty similar to the warm color, but when I went to the store and swatched the colors, I have to say I was really pleasantly surprised by the pigmentation of the products, especially this gold color. It's absolutely stunning. It has a little bit of an orange shift, but it's just such a special color, so I decided to pick it up. I also really like this pink color, which looks really flattering on the eye, even though on the pen it looks a little bit dark, but on the eye it's a beautiful mauvey pink color, which I really enjoyed. And as you can see that this palette is a lot more pigmented than the warm palette, and I would say the shimmery shades in this palette are the standout shades. They go so well together, and the texture is so blendable, and it makes the whole look very seamless. And in terms of the highlighter duo, before I went into the store, I was intending on picking up both the pink palette as well as the orange palette. But when I test out the colors, I feel like they're just a little bit too dark for me, especially the orange one. So I skipped that one and pick up the pink one instead. If I didn't have a YouTube channel, I probably would have skipped both. Now, in terms of the blush sticks, these two are limited edition colors, and they are a lot more pigmented compared to the Permanent collection colors, which I did some swatch comparisons for you guys in the store. So in the Permanent collection, they have a lot of different shades of pink. This one I would say is leaning more red, and both blush sticks have a little bit of a shimmery finish as well, so you can use them both as a highlighter as well as a blush. For those of you that are familiar with Chanel products, you know that they also have those highlighter sticks that look very similar to this blush stick, but those highlighter sticks have more of a transparent finish with a hint of color, whereas these blush sticks are designed as solid blushes with a little bit of a highlighting finish, if that makes sense. So if you're looking for a blush for the summertime that's not too heavy with a little bit of a dewy finish, these will be the right products for you. In terms of the nail polish, I got the watermelon red color as mentioned, and I'm a big red person, so that's not very surprising. I wouldn't say this color is that special, but it is a very beautiful summer color because it's not a deep red and it's not an orange. It's more like a bright watermelon red. I think that's the best way to describe it, and it looks very similar to the 147 color that's in the Permanent collection, but I tested out both colors in the store, and I think 147 is leaning more orange and this one is more red, and I personally prefer this color to 147, and the gold color is a little bit too metallic for me, so I didn't pick up that color, but this is definitely, I think, a summer staple if you don't have a summer red color in your collection. This is not a new product, so this is basically the concealer that's part of the Les Beiges collection, but they did introduce some new shades this year, and the new shades tend to be in the kind of the darker shade range, which is a very good change because people have been complaining about luxury brands such as Chanel and Dior not having a very inclusive set of shade ranges. So it's really nice to see that they are finally taking customers' feedback into consideration, and they are now introducing more and more diverse shades. Now let's talk about the packaging. So typically the Les Beiges collection will come in this beige box with all the logos in black, and this new collection is no exception. So everything came in with this type of packaging. One thing that I want to note is the blush duo comes with a black velvet pouch, which is not abnormal, but what stands out is the logo that's on the black velvet pouch, which is a very big golden Chanel logo, and I'll just compare that against the eyeshadow palette so you can tell the difference. So I think this is an interesting change, although I'm not a really big fan of the black velvet pouch, if I'm honest, because over time, like, it's so easy to collect little fluffs on it. It makes it look like it's really dirty. So I'm hoping that, you know, they can introduce some other materials for the pouch that's easier to maintain. But I do think I like this new design better than the old design, but that's just a minor detail. And in terms of the size of the palettes, as mentioned, they are the same as the Permanent collection. And if you do have the 2023 limited edition collection, you will see that there is a big difference between the oversized palette versus the normal size palette. I personally prefer the oversized palette just because I feel like it's more substantial and it looks really, really nice on the vanity. And especially for products like bronzer, I do appreciate a bigger palette because I can run my brush around the palette and get a lot of product to apply onto my face. The good thing about those smaller packaging is that it's more portable and you can easily carry them in your purse when you go to the beach or go on a trip. So there's pros and cons in terms of the different sizes. In general, from a packaging perspective, I think nothing really stands out to me as something that's really, really different this year compared to the previous years. Now let's talk about the makeup look that I did. In terms of base product, I used the Les Beiges concealer in the color BD21. So this is a product that I picked up last year, I believe. And as mentioned, they introduced new shades this year, but the formulation is still the same. I really recommend this product because it has mixture of water as well as kind of pigment balls inside of the tube. And every time when you pump out the products, they are the tube kind of makes the pigment as well as the water, so the product is very comfortable on the face because it has very high level of moisturization, and the coverage is pretty good as well. It's not a full coverage concealer, but it is very comfortable on the face, and I think it's very nice for the summertime if you want to create that very dewy type of look. And after I was done with foundation, I went in with the golden eyeshadow palette. So I started with this mauvey pink color as a outer V color, and I really like the definition that this color provided. And as you can see in my demo, that this color is very pigmented. I really love how this color show up on the eye. It's a matte color and it's very blendable. It's the perfect outer V color to add a little bit color on your lid while providing that level of definition that you're looking for. After that, I went into this deeper pink color to deepen the outer V and create some additional dimension. And I'm really pleased with the performance of this color as well. I think it really added that extra level of definition and have a very blendable texture. And then after that, I used this beautiful golden shimmery shade in the center of my lid. And I would say this is probably my favorite color out of this entire pan. It's such a beautiful golden color that's not like too in your face, and it really gives you that sunset look vibe that we're trying to create today. And the color is super blendable. I don't think you need to use a brush to apply this color. I basically just used my finger and it applied like a dream. Just one swipe is good enough. After that, I went into the top highlighter over here and highlighted my inner corner. I think this is a very beautiful champagne gold color that could also be used as a center of the lid color if you want something that's less dramatic. And I would normally just call it a day and be done with it, but I do want to demonstrate all the 5 shades for you guys so that you can understand the performance of the entire palette. So I went into this last shade over here in the outer V. It is more of like a kind of a rose gold color. I think it's very pretty as well. Although I have to say, out of all the 3 shimmery colors, I probably love this gold one the most, followed by this champagne gold color and then the rose gold. But I have to say all 3 of them are very beautiful, and you can kind of rotate the 3 of them as your center of the lid highlight depending on your mood. And that's one good thing about this palette, because there's so many color choices and there's just so many ways for you to play around with the color. So I did really enjoy this palette. After that, I apply my blushes using the new blush sticks. So I first use this pinkish red color on top of my cheekbone, and then I use this a light orange color in the center of my cheek, and then I blended those two colors together to create more of a ombre type of effect. I think both products are very comfortable on the face. They're very moisturizing, and I love the level of pigmentation that they provide. And when you blend them out, they create this beautiful wash of color that's very natural and give your cheek a hint of orange pink, which is a very special color, and I do enjoy that. Now, if you are not so confident about your makeup skills, you don't have to be intimidated by them because they do blend out very easily. And I think they're really nice in the summertime too because they're not very heavy and they're very moisturizing. So I do think they are a very good addition to this collection. You can just go out like that, but I do want to demonstrate all the products for you guys. So I went into the highlighter duo and apply the pink color on top of the blush that I applied earlier, and then I used this bronzy color on top of my cheekbone to create a little bit of dimension. I have to say, when I swatched those two colors, they look pretty pigmented on my hand, but when I applied them on the face, I couldn't really see the colors. So I'm not really sure about this product. And as mentioned earlier that I didn't pick up the other highlighter duo, the orangey one, maybe that one will be more pigmented on the face. And perhaps if you want, you can use them as the center of the lid highlight as well. But given that this palette retails for the same price as the eyeshadow palette, I would definitely recommend the eyeshadow palette over this highlighter duo. Now let's talk about my final thoughts. So I would say if you have budget for only one product out of this entire collection, I would recommend the eyeshadow palette because I do think all 5 shades are very pretty. They're going to be a summer staple for the years to come. So I do think this is a very good investment, and it retails for $75 for 5 shades. So it's not that bad for Chanel. And if you have a little bit more budget to pick up some additional products, I would recommend you to look into the blush stick because I do think these colors are very moisturizing and it has a very nice finish on your face. Between the two, I think I prefer the pinkish red color, but I also pick up the orange color because I think it will go with the eyeshadow palette a little bit better. So it really comes down to personal preference, which one you want to pick up. In terms of the highlighter duo, I don't really recommend it, to be honest with you, because I just don't think it's a very special product. I was hoping that they're going to come up with more duochrome colors that are more different than what they have launched in the past. So I would say I was a little bit underwhelmed by that. The nail polish I do recommend, but Chanel nail polish are not cheap. So if you don't have the budget, you can always find those colors from cheaper pharmaceutical brands. And that's all for today, my friends. I hope that you enjoyed today's review. If you have any additional questions, please feel free to leave a comment down below and I will try my best to answer your questions. I do have a lot of beauty reviews coming up, so please make sure that you subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss out.